Hello and welcome back to Hellbound Garage. Today's going to be a little different. We're not actually going to be working on the Datsun. We're going to be talking about my most recent purchase and the reasoning behind it. Because like you, as a car guy, we want the best parts and we want the best tools. But with life and budgets, we can't always afford those things. Currently, this is my welder. It's a Campbell House flux core MIG welder. I have never actually used it for MIG because I could not get the gas to, even when I had it hooked up, I couldn't get the gas to work right. I'm not really sure what it was. Even my dad, who does welding as a profession, looked at it and couldn't figure it out. So it's been a flux core only welder since I purchased it. I've now had it for 3 or 4 years. I've built my welding table. I've done a bunch of projects on my Datsun. I've built a few sets of bumpers for vehicles, rock sliders. Everything's held up really well. As long as you prep the metal right, so that way you can get enough penetration, everything works great. The maintenance on this is definitely not the most ideal. The liners are a big thing. You have to buy kind of like a universal liner and then take apart the whole gun and run it through, and then you can never get the gun completely back together. As well as it likes to kink right at the case, and it'll kink at the gun over time. But I mean, I've had this for a couple years and I've only had to replace the liner once. I should probably be replaced again, but that's not going to be necessary unless I'm going to keep this welder around. Overall though, been super good, super reliable. It's done everything that I've asked. Now, besides maintenance, my one complaint with this is the overall cleanliness of like the welds, and unfortunately that's just the nature of flux core welding. You get the spatter, it just happens. So they make things like nozzle gel for the gun, and they take sprays for the metal. That way the spatter has less chance of sticking to your materials, but it's still kind of a pain. Now, this is also 110 only. So the real thick material, you get a chance of overheating your machine or not getting full penetration, and it just kind of sucks if you ever run into that situation. Still, overall, last 3 years, it's been a really good machine for me, and I really, for the small complaints that I have, I mean, overall, it's still a really good welder for somebody who's looking to get into one. I'm not sure what other companies for this price mark are going to be as good as this one, and who knows, maybe I just got lucky with the quality of this one. This is my newest purchase, or I like to call it my new toy. This is the OmniPro 220 by Hobart Freight. This is a MIG TIG stick welder that's also flux core, and it runs 210 and 220. This is checked all the boxes for me personally, and it's within my price range. I've been looking in that $1,000 price range for a multi-process welder that will allow me to improve upon my already existent skills, as well as learn a new skill, which in this case is TIG. Now, a lot of welders that are in this price range are scratch start TIG. And after talking with my dad, like, they might be okay to start with, but what you really want is lift TIG, or you want to have be able to have TIG with a pedal. And this has that option. So there are a couple of different welders that were in this price range that I looked at and I seriously thought about. One of them was a Lincoln MP31, I believe. The next one was a multi-process by Hobart. I don't remember the number on that one. The one that I had really considered for a long time was an Everlast 211 SI, I believe. And then there was this one. This guy wasn't actually on my radar to begin with, but due to a sale that happened over Memorial Day, this is the one I ended up with. I took into consideration the pricing, what came with them, what you would have to buy additionally, And it really came down to a warranty and price with all the processes that I wanted. That's what this came down to. So over Memorial Day, you know, normally these are about $1,100, but over Memorial Day, they had their 25% off coupon that, for whatever reason, they did not exclude welders, which a lot of the times on their coupons they do. They have specific coupons for the welders that are never at this good of a price. But they didn't do that on this. So that brought down the price on this one to $800 and some change. That was a huge tick mark off my list, was the price. That now you have to buy the TIG torch and the TIG pedal separately, but because of the price tag that I got to that, it would bring this one to about $1,100 because it's about $100 per piece for the torch and for the pedal. So $1,100 brings it right to the price of the Everlast welder that I was looking at. The Everlast was a lift TIG, MIG, stick, and flux core. It had a 5-year warranty on it, and different things are covered. And that was $1,100. Super good deal. It was everything I was looking at. I was waiting. I was actually 2 weeks from buying that welder. That was the one I kind of had my mind set on. And then with the Memorial Day and finding the coupon, that's when this one really came into play, because that package for $1,100 came with the TIG torch and everything else. The Hobart I looked at did not come with the pedal. I think it came with the torch, the TIG torch, and it was about $1,200 to begin with. Add in the pedal for them was like two something, I think. I had it all broke down on a spreadsheet, so that would bring the price to $1,300 or $1,400. And then the last one I looked at, which was the Lincoln MP31, I believe. That welder, it checked all the boxes, was in the price range roughly, but the one thing that it didn't have that all the other machines that I was looking at did have was the fact that it wasn't 220 capable, or 240 capable. Sorry, I always get them mixed up. So that's where this one really shined. Now, $1,100 covers the price of the machine, the torch, and the pedal, but what it doesn't cover is the warranty, and that's kind of the kicker on these, is because the normal warranty on them is only 90 days. So that's kind of the kicker on this one, and something of this price tag you always want to buy the warranty on. So I went with the 2-year warranty, and that was an extra $200. Totally worth it though, because you literally, if anything happens to this machine, you go to your Harbor Freight, you drop it on their counter, be like, it's not working. No questions asked, they'll give you a new one. That is probably the biggest reason that I got this one over the Everlast. The Everlast, you'd have to deal with the customer service on the phone, you'd have to ship out the machine and everything else. Depending on the project and the time frame, that's not a thing for me. I don't have the space to leave some of the size projects that I'm working on. I can't leave them outside, and my car kind of takes up my garage. They don't tell you that when you disassemble an entire car, it takes a 3-car garage instead of a 2-car garage. Just FYI. But that right there, it got all processes, dual voltage, warranty. That it's just the total package. Now, I don't know overall, I haven't used this machine yet, but I will start to use it at that price tag, and then my budget, I didn't have the money to buy the tank yet, so I will still be using this at flux core, which will be a good comparison for the Campbell House to see how they differ. Good learning there, but we'll see over time. And that warranty, I mean, I could go in and exchange it. but I'm hoping that everything is really good on this welder. Already, on taking it out of the box, I already saw a couple of things that I really love about this welder. Big one is this guy here. On the ends of the torch, they have springs that cover the sheathing of the liner, and that makes it so you can't kink it, where with the Campbell House that was the big kink points, and they have those covered with these springs. Also, everything is removable, all the parts are replaceable, and it just makes it really easy to service. I can already tell. Along with the 2-year warranty, they have a smaller warranty program with it. So if a small piece breaks or something like that you can personally take care of, that you don't want to replace the whole machine, you can call them up and they'll send you the part too. So overall, it's probably going to be a really good experience. The one thing I don't like about this machine, and unfortunately a lot of multi-process machines have it nowadays, is the screen with the dials, and you have to do everything through here. I liked having the 2 dials on the Campbell House. Less things to break, less things to go wrong, but overall I still think this is going to be really good, and I think it's going to be worth the money that I spent on it. But time will tell. Maybe 6 months down the road, after I get done with a bunch of the welding on the Datsun and I get done with the big project that I got on my truck coming up, maybe I'll do a review after that. But there's all kinds of reviews all over the internet about this machine, so you can always look at those too. But I'm super excited for this shop upgrade. I do want to add in one last thing, that even though I'm happy with my purchase, this is still a stepping stone and this is still a compromise. I bought this solely so that I can learn how to TIG as well as have a better MIG machine. I will at some point have an AC/DC dedicated TIG machine, or what I would really like is a Miller-Matic 220, but I don't have $4,000 at this point to spend on a welder like that. But this is still just a stepping stone, and I'm still going to aim for a better product. But for now, this is what I'm going to have, and it's definitely going to be capable of what I need it for. Another little upgrade I got. Press. Already used it. Works great. Got it secondhand off of a friend. The ones right now are like $150, $160 normal price at Harbor Freight. I got this for $80 from my friend, just because now he works at a shop that he can use this stuff there. So super excited. I got 2 pieces of equipment that I really wanted for in my garage, and can't be more excited. Way more talking than I would normally do. Not a whole lot of working on the car, but it's one of those things that there are weeks that you just end up buying things and don't have as much time in the garage, but I can't wait to use them. Along with the new welder, I also have to build a cart, because it is probably 1.5 times the width of my existing cart, and I already picked up a little toolbox that I'm going to be integrating into my weld cart, so that'll be a project coming soon. Either way, thanks for listening. If you stayed, awesome. Sorry I talked a lot in this one, but the next one will definitely have more dots in action.